Bro, what?
D1 Yappers with Hubert and Harry.
No, no.
Okay. This is always talking ball with Drew and Ethan. This is our
Let's go.
inaugural first episode. So welcome. Um,
And and just FYI, everybody, we are not professionals. We're just
we're
keeping
not
it
we're
local.
we're
This
not
is
we're not good at
brand
this. I
new.
promise. We promise. Okay.
We're just
So
gonna have fun.
let's get straight into business. With Texas OU Red River rivalry week.
Yes,
With
and you know people put spreads on these games. Texas is a 14.5 point favorite, but honestly,
overwhelming favorite.
do what?
Overwhelming favorite.
Yeah, but you know, I don't look at those spreads. I don't look at spreads when it comes to these kind of games because those kind of rivalry games, it doesn't to me it doesn't really matter that much.
No. Oklahoma won last year on a last second touchdown by Nick Williams.
Right?
Um,
Was it
anything
Nick
can happen.
Williams?
It was Nick Williams. Anything can
Oh,
happen.
yeah,
Of course, anything can happen in these games like this. I don't even
yeah,
think Oklahoma was favored last year. I
yeah,
mean, that Longhorn team last year was really good. They made the college football playoff, so Oklahoma
yeah,
beating them in a rivalry week says something, you know.
yeah. What I'll be interested to see because I know that Quinn Ewers is supposed to be back, and I mean, the guy's thrown for almost 700 yards. He's thrown 8 touchdowns, only 2 picks, and he's got an 85% completion percentage. But I mean, he hasn't played. I mean, he hasn't played what has it been 3 or 4 games?
I think it's been three.
Yeah,
Arch Manning's done great in relief duty. He has
I
like,
will say, I would not be shocked if Steve Sarkisian puts in some different packages that Manning could potentially be in, like some maybe read option plays or something
oh
like that,
yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
he can run.
He's the fastest Manning. We'll say that. He didn't. Peyton and Eli definitely didn't give it to him.
Yeah, right.
He definitely got his dad speed.
Yeah, no, that'll be an interesting duo. And then I think the Oklahoma side is interesting because obviously
That's
Jackson Arnold hasn't been playing that good, and
yeah. That quarterback situation, that quarterback room is very sloppy right now.
yeah, and isn't it Hawkins who's now the new starting quarterback?
Oh yeah. That's he
Is he
got
the freshman?
yeah. He's a freshman,
Right.
4 star. Um, yeah, but he didn't he when I was watching the Tennessee game, he didn't even seem that good.
Really? Well,
Yeah,
the one thing that I think Texas has got to keep in mind about OU's defense isn't they're not bad.
yeah. OU's defense, man, that's a heck of a turnaround from the past 2 years of Venerables.
Right.
Um, he defensive coach coming out of Clemson.
Right.
He's obviously gonna have that defense right.
Yeah, they'll be solid. They'll be really good. The one thing, so if Oklahoma is going to pull off the upset, one of the things that's going to be really key for them is getting turnovers,
They
getting takeaways.
need
Because
to
if
force turnovers.
right, and on offense they can't turn the ball over.
They got to control the ball. They got to run it really well.
Right, right. If Oklahoma on offense, if they at least turn the ball over maybe definitely if they've turned the ball over more than 3 times, they're not going to win a game.
Danny Stutzman needs to have a big game.
Right,
There's no doubt about that. He's
right.
obviously the captain of that defense.
Yeah.
Um,
So I don't know. We'll see. But like I said, you never know what's going to happen. I mean, no one knew. I mean, no one saw what was going to come last year, right?
no,
And
no one knew.
well, it's kind of similar territory for both teams because last year Texas was 3 at the time, and Oklahoma was barely. Well, I don't think they were even inside the top 10 last year.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Um,
So, but I will say for both teams, it's a very important game in the SEC because I mean, when you look at the SEC, it's really it's really interesting because here are the standings. Who would have thought you would be saying this? Okay, at this point in the season in the SEC, A&M is first place, LSU is second place, Texas is third place, Arkansas is fourth place, Georgia's fifth place, Alabama sixth place.
And there's a three-way tie between those top three teams, correct?
Right.
So they're all tied for first.
Right, because A&M's already played 3 conference games. LSU's played 1. Obviously, Texas is coming off a bye week, so they haven't played a full slate yet, which will
Yeah, of course not.
And then, Oklahoma, I would say for them, if they want to stay in this SEC hunt for potentially an SEC championship or maybe even playoff, I would say for them, this is kind of like a make or break game for them, or maybe even prove it game. Because if they were to lose, if they lose to Texas, that's already 4-2, and they would be below 500 in the SEC.
Yeah, it's a huge game. Obviously, massive implications.
And I would also say too, for the college football playoff, you've already gotten so many teams that could be dark horse contenders that and the thing is, it wouldn't be a bad loss to Texas.
No, not at all.
Because they're the number 1 team in the country, right? But I'm just saying, it wouldn't be a bad loss, but it would be very hard for them because they still have a pretty difficult schedule. And
it'd probably knock them out of a first round bye, to be honest.
Right. Now, if Oklahoma's able to beat Texas, that would first off, that would shoot them up high in the rankings. And that'd probably shoot them up pretty high in the standings in the SEC.
Makes the standings kind of messy if Oklahoma wins.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, hey, number 1 went down last week when Alabama went down to Vandy, so we'll see if OU can pull a Vanderbilt.
Crazier things have happened. I don't think the students are gonna grab the goalpost on this time. They can't take it from the Cotton Bowl.
Hey, you never know who's out there. You never know.
There's a bunch of crazy people. All right. Going forward, we're gonna move on to our next game.
Yeah.
Oregon and Ohio State. Huge game. College game day.
Oh, College game day is gonna be there?
Yeah. Playoff preview. Potentially.
Right. And I believe Ohio State is a 3.5-point favorite.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And this is, I believe this is at Oregon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I think this is going to be a very interesting matchup because you have Dylan Gabriel, who transferred over from Oklahoma, who was really good.
Sixth-year senior, dude. This eligibility is getting out of hand.
Yeah. Now I haven't seen Oregon too much this year. First week of the season they didn't play too well. I think for them,
they struggled against Idaho.
Yeah. So I think this game is gonna show people who Oregon really can be this season.
I think Ohio State's offense is gonna tear them apart.
Right. Because their quarterback, Howard, right?
Jeremiah Smith is going to have a huge game.
Yeah, right.
Just a hot take of mine because have you seen some of these ridiculous one-hand catches he's been making, dude? It's crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Well,
dude.
And this game also, when you look at the Big Ten standings as well. Okay, I just want to point this out. Indiana is in first place.
Oh, that's crazy.
Is this basketball?
It has to be, bro.
Because usually when you look at the Big Ten,
where's Michigan State at, bro? That they're supposed to be at top of the standings if it's basketball season.
I don't know.
Michigan State,
but Ohio State and Oregon are second and third, so there's massive implications for that match.
Oh yeah, of course. Indiana plays a huge game too.
Yeah, against Nebraska. We'll get to that in a little bit. But no, I'm interested in that Oregon Ohio State game because like the Texas OU one. There could be playoff implications for that one.
Oh yeah, it's a playoff preview. I think both teams are well than good enough to make the playoff.
Right.
Like they're both playoff teams. There's so
And
much
yeah,
experience on Oregon's side.
yeah,
Especially with something that I just noticed. Dylan Gabriel and Will Howard, both fifth, sixth year seniors,
right,
tons of experience on both sides. Also a good mixture of youth in there.
right, right. Yeah, I would also say because of the 12-team playoff format, like the Georgia Alabama game. I don't think that's the only time we're going to see Alabama and Georgia face each other this year.
Oh no, they're going to play each other in the playoff.
And so, Oregon and Ohio State, which I think they'll make the playoff, even though they play one time in the regular season, I guarantee you if they see each other in the playoffs and the cards line up right, they'll play each other again. I guarantee.
It's probably going to be a different story too.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a high offensive scoring game.
Right. Although Dan Lanning's defense they're usually pretty good because remember he used to be the defensive coordinator at Georgia under Kirby Smart.
I mean, yeah, that's obviously massive. But Oregon's going to fly around the field. They've always had great offensive minds there.
Right. Right.
So,
yeah. No. Yeah. Well, and remember under Chip Kelly, they always had offenses that just tore up people. They had.
Oh yeah. Oregon is always going to come to play on the offensive end.
Yeah.
Well,
just to add a little funny wrinkle into it, I wonder what kind of uniforms they're going to wear.
Oh yeah, their uniform game is it's always good.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and last week the Ohio State's uniforms, did you see the all grays?
Oh yeah, those are pretty good, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, they look pretty good. But I don't know, we'll see. I think I'm going to say since it's at Oregon, but Ohio State is Ohio State, I'm going to lean towards the Buckeyes even though it's in Eugene, Oregon. I think Ohio State's defense is able to some way pull off a couple of turnovers that eventually is going to, take the game away from Oregon. I think the first half, I wouldn't be surprised if in the first half Oregon's leading it maybe by a field goal or maybe even a touchdown.
Yeah, any key X factors or any key players you see making a significant impact on this game?
Like I said, I think Dylan Gabriel, I think for him, if he wants to solidify the kind of quarterback that he can be, I think this is the perfect game for him to go show people who he really is.
Oh yeah, he has plenty of talent around him. He has Evan Stewart, Tez Johnson.
Right. Yeah, and Evan Stewart, when he was, I'm not trying to be biased or anything, but when he was at A&M, he was pretty good.
I know going from SEC to Big Ten balls, obviously different.
Right.
So different kind of physicality down there in the SEC.
Right. No, I think Stewart. I think all the trio of receivers that they have down at Oregon, they're gonna have some yards. I think it's good. I think it's gonna be a balance of defense and offense. But I think at the end of the day, there's gonna be at least 40 points in this game.
Oh yeah, it's gonna come down to the last play.
Yeah.
It's another one of those game of the century type things that we got with Alabama, Georgia 2 weeks ago.
Right. Well, we'll see what happens. They're a 3.5-point favorite, but nobody knows until the game's played.
Yeah, anything can happen, dude. Honestly.
Right.
Just like with the Oklahoma-Texas game.
Right.
Moving on to our last marquee matchup of the day, we are going to LSU and Ole Miss.
Yes. This is one of those games that I think for Ole Miss, they have to win this game. Now it's kind of a prove-it game it's a prove-it game for both teams, but in my opinion, Ole Miss has to win because you look at their record already. They lost to Kentucky at home, right?
Oh yeah,
that's already one loss in conference play.
Kentucky, I don't know where they came from, but their defense it's really good.
Yeah. No, as a Ole Miss, as a matter of fact, Ole Miss, they're 5-1. but they're 1-1 in conference play. You look at LSU, they're 4-1 and 1-0. So when you look at Ole Miss, I mean, they had championship aspirations for this year. You know, they thought they were going to be able to get to the SEC championship.
This is a bigger game for Ole Miss than it is for LSU.
Yeah,
I mean, in terms of SEC play.
Well, in terms of the standings and in terms of just, you know, a lot of things on the line. You know,
LSU's defense is obviously got to step up. They're horrible against USC in that opener.
Yeah, well,
and USC's not as good.
Yeah, well, I think something that really hurt them was on the defensive line because one of the best edge rushers maybe in college football, Harold Perkins, he's out for the year.
Oh yeah, their edge rush is just not.
Yeah,
it's just not the same it used to be.
No, yeah, and I mean, remember when a couple of years ago when Harold Perkins was potentially projected one of the top, you know, edge players in all of college football, and
he decided to come back.
Yeah.
Unfinished business, and obviously that business didn't go too well for him, did it?
No. Yeah. Well, I believe this game is at LSU, if I'm not mistaken.
The Death Valley fans are going to bring it the whole time. It's going to be a tough environment for Ole Miss, but I think Jackson Dart, lots of composure from that kid. Plays in tons of big games. I think Jackson Dart's going to come out slinging it from the get-go.
Right. Well, and the quarterback on the other side, Garrett Nussmeier, I think he's gonna actually. You know what's funny? I actually, I think it was a couple of years ago when I was calling JV games for the Coppell JV football teams, and I believe his younger brother was actually, I think he was on the JV1 team. I'm pretty sure, and he's on varsity now, and he's supposed to be really
for Coppell?
No, for Marcus.
Well, that's crazy.
Yeah. But no, I remember watching him, man. He was really good. He must
not be too big yet, though.
I don't know, but he was really good. He's gonna play D1 football. I tell you that. He's gonna play somewhere in college football.
That's obviously a lot of brothers we have in college football. No different from him.
Yeah. But going back to Garrett Nussmeier, I think he's a really good quarterback. I think he's still a young guy. I think he's still trying to prove himself throughout the SEC, you know. But
I mean, yeah. But he throws for a lot of touchdown. He's done for a lot of touchdown passes this year. It's definitely not his fault.
Right.
When it comes to that one loss for LSU, he's definitely been balling. There's no doubt.
Well, talk about someone who's also been balling. You know, Kyron Lacey.
Oh yeah.
For LSU. Man, he's LSU lost potentially one of their best receivers in Malik Neighbors last year to the New York Giants, who he's having a fantastic season already.
Oh yeah, great rookie so far.
Yeah, Lacey has kind of taken over that role a little bit.
Oh yeah,
he's
great
doing
receiver.
Really well. Yeah, he's doing really well.
Averaging like 14.1 yards per catch.
That's crazy.
Very efficient receiver. 25 receptions, 352 yards, and 5 touchdowns on the season for him. I look for him to be a huge X factor in this game against Ole Miss.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Ole Miss's defense really get put to the test yet because Kentucky's on. Let's be honest. Kentucky's not dropping 40 points on you.
No. They just find ways to beat you.
They got a really good defense. They almost beat Georgia.
Right.
They're really close with Georgia. Honestly, I expect this to be a lower scoring game.
Yeah.
Just because the defenses are going to come to play. LSU's always put good DBs out there.
Right.
DBU for various reasons.
Yeah. No doubt. No, it's like I said, it's gonna be a really fun game. I think it's gonna be it's going to be. I think it's going to be a marquee matchup like A&M and Missouri was last week. I think it's going to have that similar vibe. Kind of, it's another game in the SEC that could be another elimination game. I think the fact that Oklahoma and Texas joined the SEC, I just think it made the conference just more. You got to be more aware. Even though you have the 12-team playoff, even if you have 2 losses, you got to understand there's more conferences in the SEC. You still have the Big Ten, you still have the Big 12, you still have the Pac-12, you still have all
ACC.
Yeah, right. You still have all those Power 5 conferences that can.
Well, now it's Power 4. Now it's Power 4. The Pac-12 barely exists anymore, dude.
Right.
Except I think they're getting some of their stuff together. But what is Fresno State really going to do?
I don't know. Probably not much. Probably not much.
Wazoo's been playing really good though.
Right. No, you're right on that. And speaking of which, conference standings. Well, I couldn't believe this when I saw it. Okay, Big 12 standings.
Oh.
The Red Raiders of Texas Tech are number 1 right now in the Big 12.
Crazy.
Sitting at 5-1 and 3-0 in conference play. That's unbelievable.
No, that's wild. And
then you got BYU, you got Iowa State, Colorado, who's made some noise. Sorry, Ethan, about Baylor, but
no, that's not good.
We'll digress.
Hey. Right now, hot take. Get Dave Aranda out of there.
Yep.
Get him out. He cannot. He's supposed to be this defensive guru, right?
Hey, at least you got Kansas sitting at 1-4. At least y'all are 2-4.
Hey, Kansas did good last year.
Like last year.
Their fans are still happy with them. Like,
hey,
Baylor fans cannot be more on edge right now.
Right.
Like, I have not been more on edge as a fan. Like,
yeah,
I desperately want to see us do better. Like, I'm sure you.
Yeah. Well, remember when I told you how funny it would be if Baylor let go of Aranda and then they decided to go hire Jimbo Fisher?
Oh yeah, no, that's not happening.
That's not happening. But I know Coach Fisher wants to get back into coaching. It'd just be hilarious.
It's like it'd almost be like when we had all those Ed Ogeron rumors.
Right.
Yeah. Obviously. So I mean, Big 12's crazy right now. It's obviously wide open. Kansas State's not playing as well as I thought they would.
Yeah.
Avery Johnson's obviously shown his youth. He's a little inexperienced throwing interceptions.
I honestly didn't think Iowa State would be 5-0 at this point.
That offense is rocking, dude.
Yeah.
Rocco, whatever the quarterback's name is, I can't pronounce his name. Dude is a baller.
Yeah.
Iowa State's offense always very tight end heavy.
Right.
Scored 42 points last week against my Bears.
Yeah.
We could not keep up. We did not get a single stop on them. Their offense is good. I think they can take them all the way to Arlington.
Really?
Yeah, I think they're good enough to play for a Big 12 championship. Now,
wow.
who that other team's going to be, I don't know.
Right.
I could not tell you. That's a massive surprise. Like that could be anybody at this point except the teams obviously in the Big 12, lower in the Big 12 standings.
Right.
But then again, crazier things have happened. Anybody can make a run.
Mm-hmm. That's right. And we've seen it too. I mean, look at TCU a couple of years ago. I mean, they were 4-8. The year prior they went to the national championship. So you don't know. You don't know who's gonna.
Oh yeah, no. Anybody's gonna. I think any teams can bounce back. I think Kansas State's probably the other team in the mix there. Just because, they won the Big 12 last year.
Yeah.
No, they didn't. That was Texas.
No, that was the year prior. That was the year they faced TCU.
Oh yeah, they won. Texas won it. My bad. That's
Texas
how they
won
got
over
into.
Oklahoma State. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how they got into the playoff, undefeated. So let's stop talking about Texas. I hate Texas.
Yeah. Hey, we've already talked about them. We've reached our limit on them.
No. We've already given them the praise.
Yeah.
It's well deserved. I know a couple of the guys that play on that team. Very talented individuals.
That's crazy. That's
Dude, it's
not many people can say that they know players who play at Texas right now. That's crazy.
I know. I had 2 of them in my geometry class. It's crazy.
That's insane. You never know.
They sat across from me. They sat all the way on the classroom over there. They sat far away from me, but I knew who they were. I knew their face. They're obviously not shy people. So I mean, I talked to them. Jelani's a great guy. Trey's a great guy.
Right.
I look for Trey to get some carries and maybe he'll get a touchdown.
Yeah.
Look forward to see what he'll be doing.
That's really cool. And it's nice that they were just genuine nice people.
I mean, yeah, it's hard to find good people nowadays, but honestly, I'm kind of tired of Conley people going to Texas.
Yeah. You like some kids to go to Baylor, but
hey, we got a kid with his top 8 Baylor's in it.
Hey, you got Mr. Edward Griffin from Coppell, Texas, baby.
Oh yeah, the gunslinger. Big dude.
He's gonna do some of it. He'll work some of his magic down there in Waco, Texas.
No, yeah. Once we get an offensive coach,
yeah.
Maybe Dave Aranda will still be there. I honestly don't know at this point.
Yeah.
Honestly, he could be gone next week.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, some games that we chose by ourselves. I chose Nebraska versus Indiana, and this one's at the Hoosiers, and Indiana's a 3.5-point favorite against Nebraska.
I think that Matt Rule defense is going to be pretty good.
Yeah.
Curtis Rourke is going to have his hands full.
Yeah.
Yeah. Curtis Rourke, a transfer from Ohio. Very interesting story for him.
Interesting.
Surprised to see him succeeding at such a great level, playing at as low as a competition as he does.
Yeah.
But there's quarterbacks like that all the time nowadays.
Well, and Nebraska's got copy and paste of Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, bro, I don't know what he's doing with that hairstyle. I seen the little trot. He'll copy Pat Mahomes' trot, same trainer. Whatever works, right? The Cornhuskers.
It's clearly working because they haven't won 5 games they haven't won 5 games, at this juncture in the year since 2016.
I mean, do you think they're winning this one? Or do you think Indiana's?
I'm gonna say they do.
You gonna say they get the upset?
I'm gonna say Nebraska wins and is able to upset Indiana.
You say they get the win? Okay,
yeah.
That game is going to be good. I mean, Dylan Raiola, obviously the number 1 quarterback from the previous class.
Yeah. I think Dylan. I think when you look at his game, he can hurt you in all kinds of ways. Whether that's throwing the ball, whether that's taking off and running.
I haven't seen much of his legs though. I think he's a very pass first quarterback. Like
right.
He plays so similar. He plays so similar to Mahomes. It's crazy.
Right.
Obviously,
when he does get the chance to run, I mean, he can run. I mean, I remember a couple weeks ago when I saw him against Colorado. I mean, the guy can make plays.
Dude's obviously a playmaker. There's no doubt about that. He has a bright future.
Yeah.
Hopefully he doesn't burn out, but he's great talent.
Right.
Matt Rule, best quarterback Matt Rule's ever had. Even with his even probably better than some of the quarterbacks he's had in Carolina,
or a Baylor, or even when he was at Temple.
Oh yeah, but he sent PJ Walker's doing pretty well for himself right now, ain't he?
Yeah.
PJ Walker's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, I think that's the best quarterback he's ever got his hands on.
Right.
Which
well, and the guy's a freshman.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Isn't he? Is he a freshman?
He's true freshman. He's true freshman.
Golly.
He came out from this recruiting class.
That's crazy.
He flipped from Georgia on signing day.
Yeah.
I can't imagine how much money was in that the NIL deal to poach him away.
I don't know, but hey,
Nebraska.
Matt Will was able to lure him in, and he's doing pretty dang good.
Hey, props to Nebraska, bro. They're doing really well for themselves. I could see them as a Big Ten contender, maybe next year.
Yeah. Hey, well, you know what's hilarious? I bet I doubt Florida State's watching Nebraska or anything, but I bet they're wishing that they're having the kind of season Nebraska's having right now, because
dude, like, to have that, like, to kind of complain and moan about all this, like, oh, we didn't make the playoff. Shut up, dude. Your quarterback was injured. Like, you're gonna get beat. Do you want to get beat by Michigan by 30 points? Like, okay, you guys, like, cool. Y'all got whipped.
Hey, in that case, it would have been better than what was the score? 63-3 against Georgia last year?
Yeah, they got whipped by Georgia.
So, if you think about the two scenarios, I'd rather be beat, maybe in the 40s rather than the 60s,
It's still bad.
It's still bad, but hey, at least, I'm going to say this. Michigan isn't Georgia. Who else? Texas isn't Georgia.
Well, I think also, like, we're obviously getting way off topic, but I think some of their first round talent, some of their talent that sat out that bowl game would have played for the playoff. But obviously now,
yeah,
I think Mike Norvell's even on the hot seat at this point.
I mean, everybody's gonna say that when you're not having the season that you want, right?
Yeah, I mean everybody. Yeah. I mean, I think he obviously stays though.
Yeah. Well, moving on, because we've been on that hot topic. The Heisman Trophy candidates, Heisman Trophy people who we think could potentially be in that front seat.
Okay. I thought we were gonna do my Colorado Kansas State game, but yeah.
Oh no, you're good.
No, I thought no, it's good. Obviously, we already went over it a little bit. We got a little sidetracked. Just the first day jitters, So
it's all good.
Colorado, and Kansas State. Kansas State obviously ranked in the top 25. Do you know if it's being played at Folsom Field or not?
I'm not sure. Kansas State and Colorado, right?
Yeah. I'll look at it real quick. I'll look at it real quick.
Yeah.
I think Colorado is ahead of schedule where they want to be.
Yeah.
Colorado obviously only won 4 games last year.
Right.
Now they're
4-1 already.
They're 4-1 right now.
Right.
So obviously they're probably gonna make a bowl game, and you don't hear the haters anywhere now, do you?
Mm-mm.
The haters, no, not there.
Right. Well, and I think Shador's playing at a much higher level. Travis Hunter's obviously making a huge impact.
Travis Hunter, dude, he's doing sensational on both sides of the ball.
And I would also say their defense isn't as bad as they were last year. Last year they were giving up almost 41 points a game.
That offensive line is still horrendous. My Baylor Bears even got like 9 sacks that game. I think it was 6 or 9. I don't know. It was a lot of sacks. That offensive line obviously not it. But hopefully with former 5-star Jordan Seaton, it might be a little bit better.
Yeah. Right. Right.
So I mean, I think this is going to be a really good matchup between Kansas State and Colorado here.
Yeah. So who do you think's gonna be able to come out with a W?
I think Buffs win really close.
Colorado does.
I think Buffs win really close. Buffs are actually playing at home. I just figured that out.
Yeah.
That crowd is going to be crazy. It was even crazy during the Baylor game. We were 3-9. They stormed the field.
Yeah.
Why did they storm the field? We were 3-9 last year.
Well, considering they scored with 1 second remaining in regulation, thinking that all hope was lost.
Well, if stupid. It's stupid. Like Baylor has been the laughing stock of the Big 12.
Yeah.
For the past 2 years, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, that 2021 season fluke. But obviously, let's get back to the Colorado KSU game.
I will say about Kansas State, their defense.
Yeah, their defense always
is really physical.
Really good defense.
And so if Colorado's offensive line, they've like you said, they gave up 9 sacks to Baylor. If Shedeur Sanders just gets harassed in the pocket all night long, all day long, they're not going to have a chance, and that also creates turnovers on the back end too.
I mean, Shedeur Sanders, not throwing too many picks. Obviously, he's only thrown 3 picks on the season. But
in any game, you can't lose the turnover battle.
No, Shedeur Sanders is obviously well experienced starter, senior quarterback, knows what's going on. He's not gonna make too many mistakes.
Right. Right.
I think Avery Johnson's gonna make a huge impact with his game, on this game with his legs. Dude can flat out go and get it. Travis Hunter, you can't explain him. He's like Shohei Ohtani.
He's gonna ball out.
Yeah, he's two-way easy.
I got him ball out.
Got him for at least a touchdown. He might even get an interception on the defensive end because Avery Johnson's only a redshirt sophomore. I mean, stuff's gonna happen.
Right.
I mean, I think Colorado. I think this is gonna be a really close game.
Yeah.
But I still think Colorado's coming out with all the close games they've came out with.
Hey, it doesn't matter what side. Hey, as long as you're on the right side of the scoreboard, that's all that matters. Now,
of course.
You still like how you would want to play the game, but, at the end of the day, if you're on the right side of the scoreboard, you're all good and dandy.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, let's get to these Heisman. Obviously, there's a few people that have been just tearing up college football this year.
Right. So, 3 I picked. This guy's from Boise State. Ashton, how do you say his last name? Genetti?
I think it's Genty.
Genty?
Ashton Genty.
Yeah.
Senior running back.
This guy, okay, already in the 2024 campaign has rushed for over 1,000 yards. He's got 16 touchdowns on the year, and he averages almost 11 yards per carry.
Dude,
that's unbelievable.
What he's doing is insane. Putting up video game numbers.
Right.
I put those type of numbers up on NCAA, man. I think that's not realistic, but this dude is doing it in real life.
Yeah.
Right. It's crazy what this dude is doing.
He's unbelievable.
Obviously, this kind of came out of nowhere. We knew he was a good running back. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But the season he's having right now
is unbelievable.
He could break Barry Sanders' all-time rushing record.
Right.
He's on pace.
Yeah.
Like, I think he can very well do it.
Yeah.
Do you think Barry's record's gonna get broken, or do you think he's gonna slow down?
Hey, if the guy's rushing for almost 11 yards per carry, I don't see why not. I mean, that's just unbelievable.
especially against Mountain West opponents.
Yeah.
I mean, the Mountain West. Hey, don't get me wrong. The Mountain West, it's been okay, but Ashton Genty is better than the whole Mountain West. He is the Boise State offense.
Yeah. That's right.
Obviously, they what's crazy is they had Malachi Moore, former 5-star transfer in,
Yeah.
and they don't even need him.
Right. Right.
Ashton Genty is far in between the front runner for the Heisman right now. Not far behind is Travis Hunter though, doing it on both sides of the ball. What he got on him? What he got on him, Drew?
Yeah. Well, the guy's got 6 touchdowns on the year. He's got 46 receptions already. He averages around 12 yards a catch or after the catch.
That's pretty good.
And he's basically got almost 570 yards receiving.
You got any defensive stats on him?
No, but I think it's no, but no. I don't think you have to try and point that out because every time you see him on the field on Saturdays, you know what he's about. I mean, the way he's able to orchestrate his body, the way he's able to move, the way he's able to pick, the way he's able to read offenses and still be a wide receiver, especially in this day and age of college football, is just.
He's an insane athlete.
It's unheard of. It's unbelievable.
Positionless player.
Yeah.
Like, if you look on Colorado's website, it just says athlete.
Right. Well, he is an athlete. He's one of the best athletes in the country.
I mean, he's one of the best athletes we've seen since Charles Woodson. He's very similar to Charles Woodson when he played at Michigan.
Right.
Charles Woodson played 2 ways.
Yeah. Well, so did Deion.
I mean, Deion's great. He obviously knows how to coach corners.
Yeah.
He's gonna have Travis right every time.
Right.
Obviously that wide receiver room for the Buffs is pretty good.
Crazy.
I mean, yeah, I think Travis Hunter's really in close second with. I think this Heisman race is really close in general.
Right. Well, and the other one that I think you'd agree with me on this too. Cam Ward from Miami.
Oh, Cam Ward leads the nation in touchdown passes.
He's been lights out, man.
Insane comeback against Cal last weekend in the fourth quarter. Well,
and the guy's passed for over 2,000 yards. He's thrown for 20 touchdowns, only 5 picks, and he's got a QBR percentage of 91.2.
Is that leading the country?
That's unbelievable. That's insane.
Is it leading the country? I think it's really high.
If it's not, then he's close.
Yeah, he's really close to leading the entire country. Yeah,
he's and I think the game that he really exploded onto the scene, I think, was Week 1 against Florida, because he was a monster in that game. The throws he was making, the kind of reads he was making, the kind of runs he was making, and just the command of the offense that he had. I think Mario Cristobal at Miami, he's needed that. Obviously, Tyler Van Dyke, when he was at Miami, he was really good. But he was okay.
He was okay.
Yeah. But
there's nothing wrong with Tyler Van Dyke.
No, he was really good. But I think Cameron Ward gives Miami a different dimension on offense because he can run, he can do everything.
Crazy thing about him is he was unrecruited out of high school.
That's crazy.
He went to the only place he went for his freshman year, FCS Incarnate Word.
Wow.
And then he balled out there in a wishbone offense. Keep in mind.
Yeah.
He threw like 30 touchdowns in a wishbone offense, which you and me both know wishbones are running offense.
Yeah.
So the fact to do what he did with that offense tells me that he was a special player before.
Right.
He was even at Miami.
Right.
It's kind of weird with this situation in the offseason. He declared for the draft, and it was just really weird.
Well, and I think another candidate that I was put out there, even though I don't think he had his best week, Jalen Milroe, or you said Ryan Williams.
That's a
From
freshman.
Alabama. Listen, that guy, the catches he made against Georgia.
He's only 17.
The guy's only 17 years old.
He's younger than you. He's younger than you and I.
The body control he has,
prodigy.
It's unbelievable. It's
prodigy.
Insane.
He's a prodigy.
Well, think about this. Alabama, they've had Julio Jones.
He's not even legal yet. He still needs to get his parents to sign a permission slip for him. Dude is destroying people who can drink. It's insane.
Well, think about this. Alabama, who have they had in their football legacy board? They've had Julio Jones,
Henry Ruggs, Jalen Waddle,
Devontae Smith, Amari Cooper, Calvin Ridley.
They produce a lot of top tier receivers.
They produce everybody.
But I think Ryan Williams, dude, I don't know. Dude got to the college football scene super early, graduated early, just to go play with Alabama. Dude's a prodigy.
Well, and I I'll say this: credit to Kalen DeBoer, because obviously after Nick Saban retired, there were a lot of guys that were going into the transfer portal, and Kalen DeBoer had to find some way to get all those big time recruits to still stay at Alabama, and the fact he was able to get Ryan Williams to stay at Alabama was
he almost went to 8. It's crazy. He almost went to your Aggies, Drew.
Right. Yeah. Well, transfer portal. It's not the first time it's going to open up, so maybe he'll.
Well, I don't think it was even
but
he just flipped and decommitted. It was so weird.
Yeah.
His recruiting process was sort of strange, but he's at Alabama. He's balling out nonetheless. Obviously, I think Dylan Gabriel can put himself in this Heisman watch if he wins, if he beats Ohio State and puts up big numbers.
Right, but and like I said, Jalen Milroe, he was in the preseason top 5 for Heisman, potential. I still think he's up there.
I think he'll still finish in the top 5.
Right. I think, and I think I think he's taken. I think Alabama's offense. I think it's been as explosive as
some of Nick Saban's and Steve Sarkisian.
Or maybe even better. Maybe.
Kalen DeBoer, great offensive mind.
Right.
Obviously got so much offensive talent drafted last year.
Right.
With the highlighter being Michael Penix.
Right.
And then Rome Odunze. Obviously he's an offensive coach. That offense, explosive. Jalen Milroe, just not had the season we were quite expecting.
Yeah.
But he's still having a great season. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
Especially in SEC play. That's.
Yeah.
He's doing well.
Yeah. Alrighty. That is our first podcast.
That's a wrap.
How about that? Wasn't that fun?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Alrighty.
Oh,
well, everybody, thank you for tuning in. Our podcast is always talking ball, baby, with Drew and Ethan. We say so long.
Sick and Bears. Did you stop recording?